In this question, by using this data, I am explaining the part B. So in the part B, so in this statement, if G circle F is one-to-one function, so this composite function is one-to-one function, then we have to prove F is one-to-one function. We know that, so the composite functions, if it is one-to-one or one-to-one function, if you know that we are proving the single functions, one-to-one functions or onto function, it is quietly tough, it is complexity. So that's why I am following the contrapositive process. I am using the contrapositive now. So we know that how to use the contrapositive for the given proposition, given statement. So given statement is the conditional statement is given. Okay. So this first statement is the P statement. The second statement is the Q statement. Then we know that how to write the contrapositive. So negation for the second statement and then negation for the first statement. We know that. Then how can you write it? Simply, F is not one-to-one function. If F is not one-to-one function, then we have to prove G circle F is not one-to-one function. Okay, negation how can you write it? Simply putting the not. Okay, so now what I'm going to prove it? F is not one-to-one function. If then we are going to prove G circle F is not one-to-one function. I'm going to prove. Okay. Before going to prove, you have to know the some basics. We know if F is one-to-one function. So what are the condition we can write it? So see, image of the x, image of the y. If these two are equal, these inputs also equal. Okay, na? Then only we can say F is one-to-one. Simply, if two input images are equal, then those inputs also equal, then we can say one-to-one function. When we say F is not one function, if you take the two different inputs from the domain, okay na? Two different elements from the domain, those elements images are equal, then we can say it is not one-to-one function. For one-to-one function, what we define? So two elements images are equal, those elements in the domain set is also equal, then only we can say one-to-one function. For not one-to-one function, if two different elements selected from the domain, so those images are equal, we can say that F is not one-to-one function by using that. Okay. Now here which one you are going to use it? This condition I am going to use it. Okay na? Because of F is not one-to-one function, I have taken the two inputs from the set A means domain. We know that I am taking the two difference. That's why x not equals to y. So because of F is not one-to-one, images are equal for two different elements in the domain. Okay. Now what I am going to prove? Because of F is not one-to-one function, these two conditions I have taken. I am going to prove that this G circle F is not one-to-one function. I am going to prove. How can you prove it? If the two elements taken na, x not the two different elements taken na, that elements images are if equal. If you prove that both are equal, those two images are equal, we can say that G circle F is not one-to-one function. Why? Because these two elements are different elements taken. If different elements, if images are equal, it is not one-to-one function according to the one-to-one function definition. Okay, that's why. So G circle F input element of the one, which is also equal to the image of the y image, which is also equal to y image. Then our proof is done. G circle F is not one-to-one function. That's why I am taking the left side part LHS. Okay. Then now I am removing the circle. I am putting the I am plugging the bracket to the function F. We know that. So now we are going to use the this statement. Why? Because F is not one-to-one function. See, F of x is equals to the F of y. We can use that one. This F of x I can replace by F of y. Because of the F is not one-to-one function, so it is satisfied condition only, then I can replace by F of y. Okay, F of x can replace by F of y. Now again this brackets I am changing to the composite functions. Okay, G and F, again this bracket will remove, I am putting the circles. Okay, why? Because again I am also expressing the right side also in composite function also, right? That's why again bracket is removed by circle. Then so it is the input I can express in the after the composite function. So now what we done, so we got the right side. What it means, so one element image value which is also equals to the other element in image value, then we can say that, but these two are differently already taken. These two elements are different, but we got that two composite functions images are equal. That's why it is not one-to-one function. So G sector is not one-to-one function. See that one, f of x can change by replaced by f of y, then again this bracket will change us to composite function again. This y is the input now. Y is the input element from the domain. So see, this image are equal, but we know x and y are not equal. We can say that according to not one-to-one function, if two different elements we got the same images, then only we can say not one-to-one function. So then our proof is done by contrapositive.